I live in Tel Aviv. My son travels an hour a day to come to MESHI. MESHI is the only place that was willing to give my kid a fighting chance. I've read all the literature. MESHI is something very, very, very special. If you really believe in a child, and with all your heart you believe that you're doing the right thing for the person, you work to a different goal, and your outcome is a lot better. In the other school that he was in, and it was 2 years ago, they said, look, he's not going to walk by a wheelchair. The MESHI, they never promised anything. They said, look, we'd like to give it a try. And they went and they did all these different therapies, and different physical therapists came and looked at him and tried this suit and this therapy and this, and my kid walks. You know, my kid walks, he can walk. And the quality of life that we have, my son has, we have as a family, is unbelievably different.
How does it make you feel when you see him walk?
I told that to the physical therapist. If God takes me tomorrow, picks me up, takes me off the earth, I am going to die really happy, because my goal, the one thing that I wanted in life, has been accomplished. That's it. He would not have walked had MESHI not been there.
When a person steps into MESHI, he comes to a new world.
Kids everywhere, wild contraptions, strange-looking walkers and wheelchairs. But it's a symphony. The parts all fit together. You see it on the faces of these children. They're happy. They feel accomplished. They feel good about themselves.
There's no limit to the goals that they make for a child. Children so often surpass everyone's expectations, and that's what happens with my son as well. His goal was to walk maybe 40 feet or 100 feet independently, and before we left, to walk 300 feet.
MESHI is a magical place. It's magic that really transforms people's lives. That gives kids magic powers, like the power to walk, the power to communicate, that they would never have gotten in any other place.
It was established by a mother who had a big, big vision.
One of the reasons that Livsha succeeded was that she was one of them. They were all her children.
Livsha was one of those people with an incredible vision. She started it from nothing. I was always amazed how she could have so many kids, attend to the family, deal with the problems, and cover such a huge sphere of activity.
She had it all right up here. She knew every child's physical problem, and Livsha was there with her smile to accept the children and to encourage the parents.
She made a dream come true. Not only her dream and not only the family's dream, it's also our dream as therapists, to work in a place where a child gets everything they need.
We did get the best people in the field.
We, as the Ministry of Social Affairs and Services, we believe in this partnership with MESHI. We see real advancement with the children, and what I found is a huge warm heart and a very professional approach.
To take children with all forms of physical and learning disabilities and put them into one location and have that kind of intense program is very unique, and with the staff who cares more than I've seen in any other location I've been in. If you could reproduce it everywhere in the world, it should be reproduced.
We have parents that have brought their children to MESHI from North America, from France, from England, from other countries in the Middle East, because they know that they're going to get something they can't get anywhere else.
Helping a child learn to walk or become more independent is not a one-day thing, it's not a one-week thing. You've changed what their abilities are. You've changed their life, the friends that they'll be able to meet, the friends they'll be able to have, where they'll be able to go, the jobs they'll be able to have, the lives they'll be able to lead. And that's truly a very priceless gift.
She's one of the youngest children, I think in Jerusalem, I have to say, to ever be fitted with this type of brace, because she's getting so much therapy and we're working so hard with her. This little girl is a miracle child. She was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and since then she's received a year of chemotherapy. She's had brain surgery. She came here completely bald, lying on the floor, and since then she's willed her way to walk. Oh, that's to walk, to move, to be healthy. Her first steps she started taking a few weeks ago. I'm a mom, and I want the best for my child. And I want to be able to impart that to other parents and other moms and other dads. And I know that parents are nervous and they want the best for their child. And to be able to say, he stood for the first time, he took his first steps, he crawled from point A to point B, to be able to give that to another family wakes me up every morning with a reason to jump out of bed and get to work.
There are more members of the staff than there are children, and each one is better than the next.
The ratio of therapies per child, the ratio of staff per children, is much lower than it is at other places, and so they recognize and somehow are willing to pay for the kind of one-on-one training that really, again, makes all the difference in the world to the children. Beyond that, all you need to do is to spend about 15 minutes in one of the classrooms to really appreciate the love, the genuine love that the staff imbues on these children. And the first thing I noticed was simply how happy the kids were. It's so heartwarming, you can't help but want to get involved.
After I visited MESHI, there was one technology that I think is very useful that they did not have, which is a TheraSuit. And that's what the cosmonauts used to train before they went into zero gravity. For children with spasticity or cerebral palsy or weakness, allows the muscles to train under force, which many times really gives the children quite a benefit. And the therapists there, they went with it full throttle.
What you have is a group of 20, 30 physical therapists who know how to do every single type of therapy possible. They know how to use a TheraSuit, they know how to use a TheraTugs, they know how to use the magnet therapy, they know how to do Feldenkrais, they know how to do Bobat, and they know how to do Medic, which is an amazing thing that's not seen anywhere else.
It shows how cutting edge they are and how they want to make sure that everything they give the child is the most advanced, is the best, whether it be equipment, whether it be therapy.
We want to continue using new equipment and new things that are just now being invented, and everything new just helps another child. What we like as a staff is to have a lot of tools that we can use with each child, the special tool that suits that child.
Most organizations have a budget, and they make decisions based on that budget, where the resources should go, how much money should go to each child. At MESHI, it's the exact opposite. They decide what the child needs. And no matter what that need is, no matter how many therapies it is per week, the child gets those therapies and they worry about the budget later. If it were your child, it's exactly how you'd want the organization to run.
If there's anything that can be done, they'll do it. They just make miracles happen.
When Chaviva arrived at MESHI, she didn't know what to expect. Children with her diagnosis have a life expectancy of 2 years. And today, Baruch Hashem, she's almost 7 years old. She walks, she runs, she eats, she plays, she communicates in her own way. MESHI saved our life. You know, the world of special needs cuts across all differences. Differences between religious and non-religious, between professional people and non-professional people.
In MESHI there's 200 kids, but every one of them is a completely different story. If those kids are moving in our life, part of our society, it will make us better people.
By giving to MESHI, you're really giving children the gift of life.
There's no fancy curtains and matching wallpaper. It's all about the kids.
There is no price tag on the fact that my son can walk, my son can play with other children. My son now, for Adon Olam, can go up to the Ark in synagogue. My son can play with children in the garden. My son can play on the computer. My son knows how to read. My son next year is going to a normal school. MESHI has given my son a childhood, and more importantly, MESHI has given my son a future. There is nothing more than that, and it's not just my son, it's lots of children. It's lots of children that every single person has given up on, and you're giving them all a future.
There's a knock on my door on Shabbat afternoon. I opened the door and it's the mother, and she said, "We'd like to invite you. Our family is about to take our first Shabbat walk together." Want to talk about good use of your dollars? I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
There are a lot of different instruments in a symphony. And I think at MESHI, the child learns their place in the symphony. And maybe even more important, they discover that they have a place.
The love is there, the expertise is there, the equipment is there. We need a new campus.
The special children need people with special hearts. We're looking for people with big hearts.